Hey everybody, this is Ryan. Let's go over the A section for Isn't She Lovely? It looks like this. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. Now the benefits of learning these chords is that they are movable shapes. So what that means is that if you get the string muting right, these chords are oftentimes a lot easier than bar chords, and you can take one shape and use it to play many different kinds of chords. So we're going to start by learning the C sharp minor 7. So that chord is first finger, 4th fret on the A, then ring finger on the 6th fret of the D. Then you're going to flatten this joint right here and put it on the 4th fret of the G, and then put your middle finger down on the 5th fret of the B. And that's really all you need for this chord. If you want to make it a true bar chord and really lay this back part of your finger down on the high E string, you can do that too. But oftentimes when I play this chord, I am not really trying to bar across the entire string. You can see that I'm pivoting from this joint slightly. But I know I've worked with some students that can't do that. So if that's the case, then just make it a normal bar. And then we want to try to play this chord where we can mute this low E string if possible. So that way we can make it a movable shape. The thumb placement for this chord for me is right here. It's a little ways, my thumb is actually like right here, kind of past the finger rather than being directly under it. So that's how I'm playing this chord, but your placement of your fingers may vary. So let's just play this one string at a time, make sure we get the chord sounding good, or as best we can. Just one string at a time like this. And if that string buzzes, that's okay, because in the context of actually playing this song, nobody's really going to notice if that string is buzzy, but all the other strings sound good. So that's the first chord. And then the strum pattern, what we do is this. So I am playing on the down strum, and then on the up strum, I'm lifting off my left hand fingers like this. And in the context of this riff, that makes playing this chord a lot easier because we're not playing a bar chord the entire time. We're just squeezing for a little bit and then releasing, and then a little bit and then releasing, and so on and so forth. So just try this one chord with me like this. And we're not going to swing it right now, but we will later. Go ahead. A few more times. And the next chord is this one. So from here, you're going to take your ring finger and move it down 2 frets right here, and then we're going to make our F shape to play our F sharp dominant chord. Now, even though this isn't technically a dominant chord, it's still implied because we're playing this as a 5/5. So that's ring finger, 4th fret on the D string, then middle finger on the 3rd fret of the G, and then your pointer finger is flattened on the 2nd fret of the B and the high E strings. And we're still touching the A string with the tip of our ring finger like this, so that way we can mute it. For my bigger handed people, go ahead and try to wrap your thumb around. For my smaller handed people, just keep in mind of where your right hand strumming is. Don't try to go across all the strings, but maybe just like try to go through these bottom 3. And then you'll probably also hit the 4th string too. So let's just try strumming through this chord together. Just one string at a time. And what's really great about this chord is that this is also a really great way to play the F chord and lots of other bar chords too, if you can get the muting. So now let's practice going from C sharp minor to F sharp. So at your own pace, Play that C sharp minor 7 chord, and then take the ring finger, slide it down 2 frets, and then make the F shape like this. And just at your own pace, you don't have to follow me. You can go faster, you can go slower. We're just going to take a few moments here to practice that transition. And what's also really great about the strum pattern that we're doing is that on the and of 4, we're not really playing a chord there. So that's going to be a good time for you to do your switch to this F sharp major chord. Now the next chord we're going to go over is this B over D sharp. So we are going to slide up 2 frets and move our finger down a string. Then you're going to lay your first finger across these 3 strings right here. So that's ring finger 6th fret on the A, and then first finger on the 4th fret of the D, the G, and the B strings. And I'm not trying to bar this high E string. I want that to be muted. Otherwise, it's going to change the chord into like a 13th chord, which sounds really cool, but that's not really what we want right now. For my bigger handed people, again, mute with the thumb, or you can also take your ring finger and lightly touch the low E. You can also take your middle finger and lightly touch the low E like this, not pressing down, but just lightly touching. So just one string at a time, try to get this. This is a B over D sharp chord. So for my theory people out there, the 3rd is in the bass. But what's even cooler than that is that now this chord is a lot easier to play than that chord was or that chord was, because now all you have to do is just flatten this joint on your pointer finger, leave this high E string muted, and you've got a great substitute for that B major chord, the dreaded B major chord. So that's B over D sharp. Now let's practice going from F sharp to B over D sharp. So that's 4, 3, 2, 2. And then again, the ring finger slides over 2 frets and up a string, and then you flatten that first finger to play the D over F sharp. At your own speed, at your own tempo. These may all be brand new chords for you. And if that's the case, then that's awesome. It means that you're learning something new. And as a guitar player, I find these chords to be very useful because I can play my bar chords and I'm comfortable with them, but it's nice to have some other options in case I don't feel like playing them for whatever reason. Maybe just one more time. And now, from this B over D, your ring finger is going to go, you're going to take your entire hand and go down a set of strings, and then put your middle finger down on the 5th fret of the B string. So that way, now it looks like this. And this is our E chord. So this is a new way to play E, potentially. You're going to take the thumb, wrap it around, mute the low E. If not, just be cognizant of your strum. Your ring finger is on the 6th fret of the D. Your pointer is on the 4th fret of the G. Your middle is on the 5th fret of the high E, or excuse me, the B. And then you're barring, so that 4th fret high E is covered by this joint right here again. What's really cool about this voicing is I actually will oftentimes play it like this, where I'm not flattening my first finger, I'm lifting it up slightly, so that way this high E string is muted. And then I'm only playing these 3 notes right here. You've got the meat and potatoes of the chord. You got the 3rd, the 5th, and the root right there. And this is another great movable shape that I'll use a lot. So one string at a time. Just make sure we get it good. And you can choose to mute that high E string, or you can play it if you want to. It doesn't matter. Either way is fine. Now, let's practice going from the B over D sharp to this E chord. Again, at your own pace, your own speed, And it's very important that we do one string at a time to make sure that as we're practicing these chords, we can find the ones that are ringing out and we can find the ones that are not ringing out. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. Because these might be brand new, and when we learn things that are brand new, sometimes we don't always get it on the first try, but that doesn't mean we can't get it on the next try or the one after. So now what we're going to do is go through these 4 chords, and we're not going to put in the strum pattern just yet because we're going to do that when we do the practice video. But let's practice just switching through all 4 of these chords. So we've got our C sharp minor, 1, 2, 3 to F sharp, 2, 3 to B over D sharp, 1, 2, 3 to E, 1, 2, now back to C sharp minor. So all you got to do here is just bring the bar back. Go to F sharp right here. And then to B over D sharp. And then to E. And then one more time, bring the bar back to the 5th fret or 4th fret on the A. Play that C sharp minor 7 to the F sharp. Then to the B over D sharp, and then back to the E. Now, a few little sidebars. Instead of playing this E, you can play this E if you want to. You just now have to accommodate for the shift from this position, the open position, to the 4th position right here, which is a great skill to also work on too. But being able to play these inversions can be very helpful because let's say you wanted to play F sharp instead of playing it this way, you can now play it this way. Or our root is right here. So we got E, you got F, and now you have F sharp. So now this is a different inversion of the F sharp chord. So that's an example of how this can be useful. It gives you just different options depending on what position you are at on the neck to be able to play it. So this was the tutorial for the chords for the A section of Isn't She Lovely? And I'll see you all in the practice video.